So we need to get a hold of these football-related arrests, the ODS file for 2023-24. So that will be this one here, right? 2023 to 2024 ODS. You can have the same thing as an Excel file. No, it's not the same thing. Anyway, this is the file we want. So now you can upload the whole thing into Sheets. I'm going to open it in Excel and see what we're looking at. First of all, Table 5. Use Table 5 to build a line chart showing the number of arrests for racist and indecent chanting since 2010. Okay, there we go. That's this column here. So actually, we only need this data here. So I'm going to copy that and put it in my spreadsheet. Delete pivot table. And this one as well we can delete. Okay, I'm going to put in a new sheet, and then I'm going to paste what we had. Now, we don't need these columns, so we'll select them and right-click. And we know we don't need this. And that's it. Okay, and in fact, we could probably just copy this and drop it into Data Wrapper and see what happens. Visualize. I want a line chart. Okay, I left this little annotation. How do I get? Oh yes, you usually have to go into refine, and then this should be a little bin beside the. Oh no, it's annotate, of course. Annotate. Yeah, there's a little bin that appears there. I want to get rid of that. So we'll hit the bin. So this is 44 in 2010, 23 the following year. That's it. Again, we have this issue around the COVID year, which suggests there was this massive drop. You can leave that. People will know. But I might go back and take out the value. So there's a missing value. So you get this. And this as well, we may want to put in as a legend. Okay, it's not there. Labels. What happens if... No, that's not what we want. Oh, those labels. Okay, I can't remember where we go to get rid of this, as we did in a previous video. It may also be beginning to complain, because I've made so many charts on the same one. But well, we should be able to. Let's see. Let's make a new. So if I think it's getting, I may just have missed it, but if I think it's getting buggy, I'm just going to make a new chart, because at this stage now I've removed data and put in fresh data and sent it backwards and forwards. So let's see how it does with making a fresh chart. That looks okay. And it makes a line chart, very nice. And if I go to refine, there we go, we have this option none. Yeah, which makes it disappear. Now, I don't know if that's because I couldn't see it in the last one, or if in fact it stopped being buggy because I made a new chart. Anyway, there we go. Use Table 5 to a line chart showing the number of arrests for racist and indecent chanting since 2010. So that needs to go in. Something needs to go in to explain this. It might be good as well if we could adjust the tooltip, which I think we have the option here. No, we don't. We might add a highlight range to explain this. Yep, we could put in a little note and say there were no games. Okay, so we can choose to remove these tooltips, which I think might be good. Show value labels. Yeah, that might be good as well. Okay, so that's how we're going to do the line chart. Then our next, use table 6, arrests by league. Get a total figure for arrests from 2010 to 2023. Okay, so this is table 6. I'm going to copy this again and paste it into Sheets. When you click on this little box here, it selects everything, and we can just backspace and that will delete everything. So this is what we've got this time. What are we told? Total figure for arrests for each year. Oh no, total figure for arrests for the period from 2010 to 2023. Okay. So we don't need this, so we can select this row and right click and delete it. We need a sum for all of these. So from C2 to C15. And then we want the same thing done for each of the others, so we just drag it across and it'll adjust. We don't need this column with totals. We can delete it. And then I'll put something in to say total. Now, if I delete these, we're going to lose our figures. So what I will do is I'll copy the whole thing. I'll make a new sheet, and then I will go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste Values Only. So paste the numbers, and if there's any functions or calculations generating them, just paste the numbers. Don't worry about how they got there. And so now you can see that this is just 7640, whereas in the previous one it was actually a sum. Okay, so now we have these numbers. We can delete the other rows. Maybe clean up Premier League clubs, Championship clubs, League 1. These need to be cleaned up, so it says League 2. This should just say other clubs, and so on. National League. Okay, let's try this. Oh, it hasn't. Okay, so let's take this and paste it into data wrapper and see what it makes of that. Okay, so we have a small problem here, or a big problem. Suddenly our numbers have gone from 7,640 at the Premier League to 7.64. Now that might not be a problem, except it hasn't adjusted the other ones. So we need to go back to the data and maybe remove those commas. See if that will do it. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, on we go. What are we trying to make? Oh, we're trying to make a donut chart. That's right. So chart type. What happens if we ask for a donut chart? It hasn't understood it. It's giving us the total. One possibility is if we transpose the data. Yeah, it'll understand what it is we're trying to do. So that works quite well. Do we have options for... now, have we got... It's limiting it to 5 categories. I think we've only got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're missing one. Okay. So we have other, which is 3197. Other... oh, it's adding up, I think, the 2 smaller ones. League 1 and National League. Okay, this is not very helpful. But down here under grouping, we can adjust this. So if you say 10, for example, it'll show all of them. There's the National League. So that's much better. And I think otherwise then we just make sure it's ready for publication. And there we go. There's our donut chart. Now, table 11, to compare reports of different categories of hate crime. Okay, so let's look at this data. Table 11. It's these are the rows we want. So the number of incidents of hate crime by type. I'm going to copy that and go back into Sheets. Go to this little one in the top left. Backspace, delete it all. Control V. There we go. So, what do we have to do? Which type of hate crime has seen the biggest increase since 2017? Okay, now I have uncleverly lost the seasons. Okay, so they're supposed to be there. Oops. Okay, it's a demonstration of how not to do it. Let's get rid of this row because we don't need it. Let's insert a row and then let's paste. Okay, I've taken it again. So there we are, 2017, 18, 19, 20, and so on. So the question is, who's seen the biggest increase since 2017-18? Okay, so equals whatever last year's was minus whatever we had back in 2017. There we go. Now it's suggesting that it do the same calculations. Do they look right? 13 from 14, or rather 14 from 13, yeah. The gap between 1 and 12 is 11. The gap between 1 and 7 is 6. That looks right. Okay, so the biggest increase, well, hang on, let's have a look at this column here. Oh, well, this is why you don't copy and paste, because I've made a mess of it. Okay. How did I, right. Escape will often get rid of selected areas. Okay, this time I'm going to delete these rows. Okay, and then I'm going to select all of these and then get rid of all of this. Okay, so we were going equals this minus that, and we'll take your suggestions. There we go. So 132 is the increase for race, then it's 86. In fact, it's dropped for religion, and it's gone up by 11 and by 6. And the other part of that question, which has seen the biggest increase in percentage terms? Okay, so we had 94. We've got an increase of 132. What is 132 in terms of 94? That's a little, it's not the easiest to apprehend. In fact, none of them are particularly easy because they're weird, they're very big increases, as we're going to see. But if you remember, what we'll do is equals, because we're doing a calculation. I'm going to take the increase, we're going to divide it by the original figure, and multiply the thing by 100. Does that look right? We'll say yes, we'll take this, and I'm going to select this column and reduce the decimal figures so we can actually see what we're looking at. And that doesn't. Okay. So there we go. I should give this a name. Increase, percentage increase. So the biggest increase in percentage terms is this one, disability. And you can see what's wrong, or why the percentages are not particularly helpful, because when you go from 1 to 12, that's an increase of 11, which is an 1100% increase. If it went to 2, yeah, that's it. So that's it for question D.